Rec Room is one of those games that just seem to have an endless amount of features and also bugs, unfortunately. Today I'll show you 13 things that you might not know about Rec Room. Number 1. Turn on auto sprint. Did you know that there's actually a setting that lets you automatically sprint when you press forward on your controller? I hate having to click forward every time I want to sprint, and if you turn on auto sprint, this ceases to be a problem. And now, whenever you move forward, it will immediately set you into sprint mode. Number 2. Hit players' guns in Paintball. Paintball is definitely one of my favorite games in Rec Room, and there are loads of little tricks in it that lots of players don't know. For example, did you know that hitting someone's gun counts as hitting them as well? This is true of every kind of gun, but the largest and easiest to hit are definitely the paint throwers and the snipers. On Quarry, for example, snipers love to hide behind walls and just stick the tip of their sniper out far enough for you to see it. If that's the case, just hit the sniper barrel and you'll actually get them out. Number 3. Turn on flight. You might have seen people flying around before, and in rooms with it enabled, all you have to do is hold down the jump button until you see a green ring around your hand. Most rooms don't have it enabled though, so one thing you can do, if you want to fly, is turn it on in your own dorm room. To enable flying, open your watch, click on this room, click on the settings icon, click on roles, click the default roles settings icon, turn on the flight override switch, and flip the switch to enabled. And now you can fly around in your own dorm room. Number 4. Flying around in paintball maps. Now this is actually kind of similar to number 3, but you can actually fly around in paintball maps if you first make a copy of that room. I like to do this to get a better feel for the terrain and map as a whole. Plus, I think it's really fun just to fly around in some of the more aesthetic maps like Clear Cut. To make a copy of a paintball room, just click Create Room, go to the right a couple of pages and select the map you want to clone. Then enter in a name for your room and you'll have your own private paintball map clone. To activate flying, just follow the same instructions for activating flying in your own dorm room. Number 5. Drive-in secret spot. Sticking on the topic of paintball, there's a great hiding spot at drive-in inside red base that I love to use. If you're on blue team, stick to the right side. You'll see this fence placed around a tree in red base, and you can actually climb over this fence just like you can any other. When you're behind here, you are difficult or impossible to spot, and it's a great place for catching red players off guard. Number 6. Clear Cut secret spot. This secret spot in Clear Cut isn't nearly as good as the one in Drive-In, but it turns out that you can actually jump on this rock right here. Simply climb up near this fence and jump across over to the rock and you'll be able to climb on top. This spot works great as a defensive hideout against blue team, but is also a great spot for spawn killing red team if you're into that sort of thing too. Number 7. Sprint jump sliding. This next thing goes for everyone who uses walking locomotion. Did you know that shortly sliding every time you hit the ground while sprinting and jumping will actually increase your speed? Be sure to check out my video where I measure just how much faster you can go using this strategy. Number 8. Enlarge yourself. And now for a quick Maker Pen tip. Did you know that you can actually enlarge or shrink yourself with the Maker Pen? All you need to do is hold these two buttons and bring your controllers closer together while holding the Maker Pen, and your perspective will look larger. Unfortunately, this effect can't be recorded well because it requires full 3D vision to see properly, but be sure to try it out on your own headset if you play in VR mode. You can also shrink yourself by doing the same thing, but pulling your hands apart rather than bringing them together. This feature is especially useful if you're trying to build with the Maker Pen something very large or something very small without having to move very long distances. Number 9. Show the center of your Guardian. I know for me, I can get lost in my Guardian space sometimes. I'm an Oculus Quest 1 user, and I find it immensely helpful turning on the Show Room Center setting inside of Rec Room. This puts a little yellow pentagon on your floor that shows you where your room center is. To turn this on, go to Settings, then click on the Gameplay tab, click the right arrow to go to the second page, and check the Show Room Center option. Number 10. Glitching weapons into quests. Quite a few of you probably know how to do this already, but if not, you're in for a real treat. You can glitch weapons into quests so they can be used before they appear in the quest timeline. For example, in Rise of Jumbotron, you can glitch in a shotgun or a railgun to use on the first few stages, instead of having to wait for them to spawn in naturally. To do this, all you have to do is put the weapon or gun on your back as the countdown hits 0 before the game starts. If you time it properly, it will remain on your back and you can take it off once you reach the starting lobby. What's even better, glitched weapons can be duplicated if you hold it in your hand as you go to the next stage. Number 11. Pots do damage. Sticking on the theme of quests, did you know that pots can actually be used as weapons? They do as much damage as a bow shot does, but break when you hit something with them. In Crimson Cauldron, they can also be used to deflect witch projectiles. The strength potions in Crimson Cauldron also do as much damage as a bow shot when you hit something with them, and as a bonus, they don't even break like the pots do. That means that you can use a potion consistently as a weapon in Crimson Cauldron, as long as you're okay with a much smaller hit radius. Number 12. The bog tricks. Once again, in Crimson Cauldron, on the bog level alone, there are plenty of neat tricks that I use when I play it. Firstly, you can climb on top of this rock right here and avoid having to use the life preservers to climb over the deadly bog. Next, you can make this jump here without life preservers as well if you walk forward in real life at the same time as when you jump in Rec Room, just as I did there. And finally, my favorite trick of all in this level is that you can climb around on these trees. To do this, climb up the side of this hut thing that will give you access to this tree branch here. From there, you can shimmy across the multitude of tree branches on this level, all the way over to this one here, positioned nicely above the bog monster. Number 13. Glitch walking. There are several ways to glitch walk in Rec Room, but the one I use lets you move even after you die. As you probably know, Rec Room disables your movement once you die in most games, but you can actually still move around simply by walking from one end of your play area to the other, using your left controller to turn around inside of Rec Room, then turn around in real life, and repeat this process over and over. Using this method, you can travel any distance, albeit a lot slower, even after you die. This trick is especially helpful in quests, where you can end up being dead for an arbitrarily long time, and moving can help your teammates revive you. And that covers all 13 things you might not have known about Rec Room that I wanted to talk about today. Let me know in the comments how many you already knew. I'll be quite surprised if you knew all 13 of them. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this one, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.